The real names have been withheld to protect the identity of the person involved. For this story, we will use fictitious names. Her name? Rachel Moore. Rachel grew up in an environment where bills always arrived before her salary, where each achievement came with a price, where hearing the word money was almost always synonymous with tension, discussion, loss. But Rachel was strong. It always was. She worked more than she should, helped everyone, and was considered a warrior by her friends. But what no one knew was that behind the strength, there was a silent wound, a vibrational knot that had been growing since childhood, and that controlled, without her realizing it, every penny that came in and out of her life. She wasn't the type to say it out loud, but something inside her firmly believed, money is dangerous. And every time something good happened, something even greater came and took it away. Did you have a job increase? An unexpected fine? Saved to do a course? What did you want so much? Your car broke down. Have you finally managed to pay off all your debts? The rent was adjusted. Always like this. As if there was a force sabotaging your steps. As if the universe is saying, no, Rachel, money is not for you. She started to avoid dreaming big, living in survival mode. He said he was realistic, that I preferred the simple. But deep down, I was afraid of thriving. Fear of attracting envy. Fear of being corrupted. Fear of being punished. And maybe you are experiencing something similar. Maybe you try hard. You're a good person. You're doing everything right. But still the money slips away like water through your fingers. Maybe, like Rachel, you grew up hearing that rich people are greedy, that money changes people, that the more you have, the more you can lose. What if money isn't the problem? What if the problem is something inside you? This story goes far beyond a woman and her financial challenges. It's a mirror, and it may be reflecting something you don't want to see yet. Because when Rachel finally realized what she was feeling every time the money approached, it all made sense. But before continuing, I want to ask you, do you feel like every time you win, you end up losing right after? Does it seem like a problem always arises at the exact moment things start to improve? Comment below. I identify with this. If you also feel like you carry this invisible pattern. And look, the most powerful part of this story is yet to come. If you want to understand how your vibration may be blocking abundance, stay until the end of this video. And if it touched something inside, leave your likes right now and subscribe to the channel. Because here we expose the mysteries that no one has ever told you, but that have always been guiding you. Rachel was raised in a home where the words rich and bad were almost synonymous. His grandfather said that every man who had money was dishonest. Her mother, without even realizing it, reinforced this belief day after day, with phrases like poor, but honest, or better to have peace than to have a lot. It was the kind of mentality that seemed harmless until you saw what it could do inside someone. From a young age, Rachel noticed the tension that money brought. When the electricity was cut off, when the rent was late, when grandmother sold jewelry at the market to help with expenses. Growing up in this environment meant that she never associated money with good things. On the contrary, money, for her, was synonymous with scarcity, struggle, pain. She learned that when money arrives, something bad comes with it. And this code was printed on it. In silence. In the unconscious. Vibrating. As a teenager, Rachel even tried to change. I read self-help books, wrote down goals, said prayers. But every time it seemed like things were going to get better, something happened. At 19, he got a well-paid internship at a large company in the city. The same week, her younger sister was hospitalized with a mysterious illness, and all her salary went towards medicine. At 24, after a lot of effort, he passed a public exam. Less than a month later, a distant relative died, and she was left responsible for a legal debt he had left. At 28, he received a job offer in another state, with triple the salary. But days before the move, his car was stolen with all documents and equipment inside. Coincidence? Rachel began to doubt this. It was as if the universe said, "Don't you dare prosper." With every achievement, a loss. With each advance, a setback. She asked herself, is there something wrong with me? And the truth is, yes. But it was not a visible error. It was vibrational. And everything started to become more evident when she decided to go to therapy. In one of the sessions, the therapist asked her to write automatic sentences about how she felt about money. The words that appeared almost made her cry. Threat, pain, separation, guilt. She realized that she unconsciously associated prosperity with suffering. For Rachel, money carried risk. It brought abandonment. It brought losses. And as long as that feeling didn't change, the vibration wouldn't change either. But the most impressive was yet to come. Because even after becoming aware of this, Rachel couldn't reverse the pattern. Something inside her still resisted. Something still screamed that having money was dangerous. And the universe, as always, just obeyed. And it was at that point, exactly at that point, that everything started to take a completely unexpected turn. And you? When you think about having a lot of money, what do you feel first? Be honest. Not what I would like to feel, but what you really feel. Does it give relief? A genuine joy? Or will it give you a squeeze? A distrust? A feeling that something bad might happen? Maybe you learned to want money out loud, but to vibrate against it in the silence of your soul. It's subtle, almost imperceptible, but real. Maybe, like Rachel, you grew up hearing that rich people are greedy, that money changes people, that success attracts envy, and that the higher you climb, the bigger the fall. And even if today you say you want to prosper, inside you still vibrate as if money were a risk. What if that's what's blocking you? Sometimes it's not a lack of opportunity. It's not the market. It's not the salary. It's the energy you carry when you think about abundance. A silent vibration that says, you better not. Because maybe you associated money with your parents' separation, or the emotional abandonment of someone who only cared about status, or the pain of seeing a friend walk away after starting to prosper. Maybe, deep down, you think you will be rejected if you get rich, that you will lose love, simplicity, connection with those you love, who will be seen as someone selfish, cold, or proud. And it paralyzes you, or worse, sabotages you. You make an effort, you dedicate yourself, you plant, but when it's time to harvest, something gets stuck. The deal doesn't close. The customer disappears. Debt appears. Money comes and goes. And you don't even understand why. But the universe understands. Because he does not respond to your conscious desire. It responds to your deepest vibration. The one you don't always have the courage to face. And perhaps now, at this very moment, you are beginning to notice your own patterns. Your own internal stories. Maybe you've also experienced situations where everything seemed to line up, but at the last second, something fell apart. And you said, I knew it was going to go wrong. But will you knew? Or was he just creating what he believed in? Think about it with me. How many times have you said, I'm terrible with money? Or, I have no luck with these things? Or even, there's never anything left for me? Because every time you repeat these phrases, you reinforce the programming. You reaffirm to your mind and to the universe that this is what you expect, and reality obeys. Rachel realized this when she began to observe her own thoughts. And that's when everything started to change. But not immediately, not with magic. It was an internal, deep, uncomfortable process. And maybe you are at that point right now too, starting to understand that it's not just about wanting. It's about being compatible. It's about becoming someone who allows the money, who feels security, freedom, and peace when he thinks about prospering. Because as long as the emotion is fear, money will continue to feel like a threat. And no matter how much you fight, visualize, study, your vibration will be stronger. And she always wins. And that's exactly what Rachel had to face. The emotion that arose inside her every time money knocked on the door. An emotion that shaped her reality without her realizing it. And it was there, in this internal confrontation, that the true mystery began to reveal itself. This is where the law of vibration comes in. The one that almost no one really teaches. The one that says, bluntly, that the universe doesn't respond to what you say it wants. He responds to what you and at the vibrational level. In other words, no matter how many times you repeat that you want more money, more opportunities, more financial freedom, if, inside, what you feel is fear, discomfort, or even repulsion when imagining a prosperous life, that is what you are emitting. And the universe, like a precise mirror, returns exactly the same frequency. No more, no less. Rachel began to understand this not through a book, but through living, observing the cycles, the patterns. Every time I received something, a loss came with it. Every time there was a chance for growth, she sabotaged it without realizing it. I would forget to respond to an important email, refuse invitations, postpone decisions. And then he asked himself, why does this always happen to me? Because, deep down, She wasn't vibrating prosperity. It was vibrating defense. Her mind was in protection mode, not creation mode. And that's the difference that changes everything. The law of vibration teaches that reality is shaped by subtle frequencies. You don't attract what you want with your conscious mind. You attract what your vibration is compatible with. And if you still carry within you the belief that money drives away, hurts, or destroys, even unconsciously, this energy creates invisible barriers. Opportunities don't come, or they come and slip through your fingers. Relationships break down, business doesn't flow, investments collapse. It's like trying to hold water in a sieve. Abundance may even pass through your hands, but if your vibration is one of scarcity, it simply does not remain. You can even attract an unexpected amount, conclude a contract, get a bonus. But if you still have the idea that this is dangerous, that something bad will come soon after, that you don't deserve it or don't know how to deal with money, the money will find a way out. The mind is magnetic, but vibration is the real magnet. And it is being emitted 24 hours a day, not when you think, but when you feel. It is the feeling that determines the vibrational emission. And feelings don't lie. You can say, I want to be rich, I want to live with financial freedom, I want to get out of debt. But if your body contracts, if your heart accelerates, if your breathing becomes tense just imagining this, the message that is reaching the quantum field is, this is not safe. And the universe understands it exactly like this. She's not ready yet. Rachel realized that the blockage was not external. It never was. It wasn't the people, the market, the politicians, or the economy. It was the vibration she carried in the silence of her soul. The vibration that said, it is better not to prosper than to suffer again. And maybe you are there, feeling the same. Knowing that you have potential, that you deserve more, that you want more. But something still hangs. Something still sabotages. Something still stops. And that something, maybe it's not rational. Maybe it's energetic. A pattern that needs to be seen, felt, and finally broken. Because as long as it remains active, you can change everything around you, except the result. And it was at that point that Rachel made a decision that completely changed the way she related to life. And with the money. But what happened next was so intense that to this day she remembers that moment as the true beginning of the turning point. Rachel didn't become rich overnight, nor did he find a magic formula, nor a miraculous course that would unlock his prosperity in 7 days. What she found was something much more powerful and, at the same time, much more uncomfortable. She met the truth about what he carried inside him. After realizing how aligned her vibration was with fear and rejection, Rachel began a process that, to many, would seem too simple to work. But therein lies the mistake. Because what really transforms is not what you do outside, but what changes inside. And that's exactly what she did. He stopped fighting against money. He stopped defending himself from him. He stopped treating him like an enemy in disguise. At first, she just watched. I understood what it felt like to receive an unexpected bill. When you see someone with a new car. By listening to stories of successful people. And each emotional reaction was like a mirror, revealing what still needed healing. Gradually, Rachel understood that money was not a villain, not a savior. It was just energy, neutral energy, which only moves according to the vibration of whoever attracts it. It was then that she began to reprogram her thoughts. But more than that, he began to reprogram his emotional body. When she thought about prosperity, she no longer let the guilt build up. When she visualized abundance, she did not cower in fear. Instead, he began to associate money with security, with peace, with freedom. He began to feel gratitude for the small inputs, the unexpected flows, the subtle signs of expansion. And that, even though it seems small, changed everything. Because the universe doesn't deliver what you want. He delivers what his vibration is compatible with. And when her vibration changed, reality had no choice but to follow. First, Rachel received a job offer that she almost turned down, out of fear. But this time, she said yes. Then, an old project that she had already buried began to bear fruit. New contacts appeared. Customers referred others. And, most importantly, the money that came in started to stay. It started to grow. It began to circulate lightly. And for the first time in her life, she realized it wasn't bad luck. It was never punishment. It was just the repeated vibration of an old story. A story that said money was dangerous, wrong, evil. But money is not evil. He just obeys the vibration of whoever calls him that. Rachel didn't change the world, changed herself, and therefore, her world changed. She broke out of the cycle of loss not because she learned to gain more, but because she learned to receive more, without fear, without guilt, without defense. She understood that abundance is a reflection, not an exception. And it all starts within, always inside. And now I want to hear from you. What was the feeling that touched you most when hearing this story? Fear, guilt, relief, recognition? Write the word here in the comments, liberation. If this video awakened something inside you, if some penny dropped, if some pattern started to be undone, leave a like so that more people can access this type of content and find answers where there was only confusion before. And if you're thrilled with this journey, subscribe to the channel right now, because the transformation is just beginning. In the next episode, you will learn the real story of a man who lived on the streets for more than a decade, but maintained the same vision every day. He saw himself surrounded by wealth, comfort, and dignity. What happened next seems unbelievable until you understand the power of continuous vibration. See you there.